everybody, I'm Nikki.
And I'm Brian.
And we are
Cooking with Dakotas. I'm a finance guy with barely any cooking experience.
And I'm a registered dietitian with professional culinary training.
And together, we're going to teach you and me how to cook in the kitchen.
Alrighty, so we're bringing something different to you today. We are making energy balls. So this is a perfect snack, especially if you're on the go. I oftentimes recommend this to some of the people that I work with that maybe have a really busy schedule and they don't have time to prepare a healthy snack for themselves. So whether they're at work and it's hard for them to get away from their work or they're at home with their kids, having this very quick snack option prepared ahead of time is perfect for those situations. So we're going to show you how to make 3 different varieties today.
Besides the convenience for them, they are all sweet and delicious in their own way as well. And you'll see from these 3 different ways to make them that you can kind of craft your own little bit and make it what you want as well and still get good protein and good fiber to fill you up and keep you going through your day. I know none of this without listening to my wife every day talk about protein and carbohydrates and fiber. So what have I become?
And healthy fats. Can't forget about healthy fats. But I wanted to point out also, these are considered energy balls rather than protein balls. You are getting protein in these, but not a substantial amount. You're mostly getting a lot of good whole grains and fiber. So these are more energy sustaining because of those ingredients, but they don't have a lot of protein in them. So
with that, let's go ahead and get started with our first protein ball, the date nut ball.
All right, so the first one we're making today for you is the date nut ball.
This is perfect for if you're on the go before a quick date night together, that you can quickly get some energy before you party the night away.
So with this recipe, there's 4 simple ingredients. The first and one of the most important ingredients are the dates. So these are Deglet Noor dates.
Deglet Noor.
They are a bit smaller than the medjool dates that you may see at the store. Either of them work for this. The ones we already got were pitted, so that was one less step we had to do.
And they are typically cheaper than medjool dates, which is...
So the dates are full of fiber, so that's going to be very helpful with this recipe because it's going to be very filling. We also have walnuts. We're using whole walnuts here, and walnuts have a lot of good unsaturated fats, so very good for your heart health. And then finally we have coconut and vanilla. The coconut we're using is unsweetened. We would rather not get as much of the added sugars from this, so unsweetened coconut and then a little teaspoon of vanilla. All right, so I'm going to get going since Brian doesn't know his line.
Line! Give me the line. Let's get to mixing this one up.
All right, so we have all the ingredients in this container. We're just dumping them into a food processor. We're using a food processor for this because of the dates and the walnuts. We want to get those very fine, so the food processor will work best. You can chop up the dates and the nuts on your own, but you got to make really, really small pieces so that they form into balls well. So highly recommend you using a food processor. And then a teaspoon of vanilla.
Can I press the button?
Yes.
And people say cooking is hard.
We don't want to overmix this because we don't want it to get too gooey, but we want to make sure that the pieces are fine enough. So we're going to actually check it. Okay.
If it looks great like your wife, you're good to go.
Not yet.
It does not look as good as her yet. So like we're looking for all uniform and fine pieces?
Yeah, just very fine pieces is good. With the dates, the texture that they are, that'll help mold the balls very well. So they'll stick together just fine.
Makeup, thank you. All right, so our second energy ball is going to be a banana ball.
So we have our very ripe banana. This is key for this because this does add a lot of good sweetness to it. So we're adding the whole banana to the food processor. Old-fashioned oats, A lot of good fiber here. We have our whole grain we're adding to this.
We're gonna add more dates, similar to what we added with our first energy ball.
I asked for more dates, but don't always get them.
Coronavirus is an inhibiting factor. It's very difficult right now. Saves a lot of money though. We are going to add a almond butter to this. Can you substitute with peanut butter, Nicole?
You definitely can substitute with peanut butter. I just wanted to switch it up with our different recipes here, but Brian recently tried almond butter and he was pleasantly surprised. So I'm glad to hear that he liked it, because just like, I mean, peanut butter has a lot of good unsaturated fats, but almond butter does as well.
And almond butter did add a unique flavoring to this energy ball compared to the other energy balls we'll be making with peanut butter. So it could be a nice differentiator and something to try.
Definitely.
We are going to add our flaxseed with chia seeds. This video brought to you by Chia Pets. Chia.
A lot of good healthy fats in this flaxseed and chia seed, a lot of good fiber. So not only are you helping your heart, you're helping your stomach by feeling fuller longer.
And finally, we are going to add, thank goodness, 1/4 cup of chocolate chips.
Nope, not until we blend it first.
Unbelievable.
All right, so let's get these blended. Alrighty, and now we can add the chocolate chips. We don't want them to fully break down and blend in with the rest of the mixture. We just want to pulse the chocolate chips in just so that they get incorporated. So I'll do a few pulses.
Now this might be incorporated through Delaware, as most LLCs are, but you can always incorporate this in your hometown as well.
Oh my goodness. Perfect. So you can see with this that everything's broken down, but the chocolate chips are still intact.
Our third and final energy ball is our peanut butter chocolate chip energy ball. Similar to the other ones, we are going to add oatmeal.
Old-fashioned oats. We're not making oatmeal.
And this is not new-fashioned either. We are adding flaxseed.
We're using ground flaxseed so that your body does absorb the fats and oils in there. If you do buy the whole flaxseed, make sure you grind it up in like a coffee grinder or a spice grinder, and then you can add it to your recipe.
Finally, for this, we have regular peanut butter.
And by regular, he means natural. You're not getting extra sugar when you're getting the natural peanut butter, and it is a little bit more liquidy than regular peanut butter, but that's quite all right.
Just a reminder too that you can pre-spray your measuring cup with oil, and this will help the peanut butter that you measure to slide out of it a little bit more easily and not get stuck to that measuring cup.
And yeah, he's just referring to the spray, like spray or something similar to that.
We don't endorse any brands here, but any canola oil spray would be acceptable. We have maple syrup that we're going to add to this. This is going to make it a little sweet.
Yeah, with this one, we're not adding the dates or the banana, so we're not getting the sweetness from those fruits. That's why we're adding the maple syrup.
We're gonna add a teaspoon of vanilla.
And as you can see, we're not using a food processor for this one. So unlike the last recipe, we can add our chocolate chips right in with the rest of the ingredients. And Brian's gonna mix that all together. So while we're using just a bowl to mix this, you can use a food processor for this recipe as well. But we wanted to give you some flexibility in case you don't have a food processor. This is a really good recipe to just use a spatula and a bowl to mix.
We do recommend getting a food processor if you can, just because like this and many other recipes, it is a great investment. It really opens your horizon as to the amount of food that you can mix with it.
If you want to check out other videos that we did use the food processor, hummus is a good one. And if you did use...
One moment, please.
If you do use regular peanut butter, it's going to be a little bit thicker, so it may take me a little bit more work to blend and mix those all together, but it will work out.
Just like you when you're mixing this by hand.
So you can see all the oats are intact. They're not blended like the other ones, but again, they're gonna taste really good with all the other ingredients, so I think you'll enjoy it.
All right, so our energy balls are rolled.
These are homemade, so not all of them are perfectly round, a little bit different shape, but hey, they're for you and your family, so no one's there to judge, right?
I'm not judging you.
So after you roll them, you can stick them in the freezer for a couple hours so that they do harden. After they're frozen, put them in a bag and then keep them in the freezer, or you could keep them in the fridge for at least 5 to 7 days. We prefer keeping them in the freezer just because they'll last longer.
I like to eat them from being frozen more than being refrigerated as well.
Either way, they do taste good. Just the texture might be a little different from the fridge to the freezer, but both of them are great options. After they're frozen for a couple hours, what we like to do is put them in little snack baggies, about 2 per bag, just so that we can grab them when we're heading out the door. But you can also just put them in a large Ziploc bag, or even like some plastic containers is fine too.
For the date nut recipe, this makes about 20 balls.
And you're getting about 140 calories per ball, 3 grams of protein and 3 grams of fiber in each. For the other 2 recipes, they make about 15 balls per recipe. The banana ones are about 100 calories each, as well as 3 grams of protein, 3 grams of fiber. And the peanut butter chocolate chip ones have about 150 calories, 4 grams of fiber, and 5 grams of protein.
Wow, sounds like they're gonna be super filling.
You're right, Brian, they will be.
Thanks again for tuning into today's Cooking with Dakotas episode of these energy balls. We hope you try these at home and love them, and let us know what other recipes you want to see from us. We would love to experiment with new things, and we would love to make something for you. Thanks again for watching.
Please remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel if you haven't already. Please like this video, turn on those notifications, and tell your friends about it. Share this video and help just get the word out of all these awesome recipes that you can try. Have a good day.